Nigeria, broadcasting from the New Vision newsroom. We're going to look at the news around Uganda, around East Africa, around the world. And later in this bulletin, we shall look at our daily Power of Africa series and also a special report. We start off with the news around Uganda, where we look at stories making headlines across the country. We start off this bulletin from Buliisa district. Now residents of Buliisa are stranded after Hoima-Wanseko Road was separated by a seasonal river, Kamhukule. River Kamhukule swept off the road on Sunday morning after a heavy downpour throughout the night, leaving residents stranded. Taxis from Hoima are stopping in Kasanya Trading Center in Chigwera sub-county, after which passengers hire some men to carry them across the other side of the river, where they find other parked taxis to take them to Wanseko. Now, a passenger is charged 2,000 shillings and a luggage is charged 5,000 shillings. According to the LC1 chairperson, Kasanya East, Josephat Babienda, such a scenario happened 6 years ago in Buliisa district, and this is the second time. Buliisa resident has not received rain since December 2018, and once it started, it has caused various damages to residents. Now, the situation in Buliisa is not any different from Tororo district, where a heavy downpour has ravaged Tororo district, washing away bridges, gardens, and homesteads. Roads connecting several sub-counties have been cut off, interrupting transport. Now, some residents are in need of relief support. Some bridges that were recently fixed have been destroyed, including Salo Salo connecting Tororo to Manafa district, at Kwampa sub-county in Angorom connecting to Karupatipe. The district engineer, Andra Saya, said with rain persisting, it is difficult to carry out emergency repairs. He advised motorists to use alternative routes. Let's move on to Kabale district, where the police in Kabale is investigating a situation where students killed a student in another school in Kabale district. Now, the deceased has been identified as Rogers Kabashaba, a senior 5 student at Kigezi High School in Kabale. He was stoned to death when students in Kigezi High School ganged up and attacked those in Nyabikoni sub-county. According to Eli Mata, the Kigezi Regional Police spokesperson, the incident occurred on Sunday at 3 p.m. when a big number of students carrying sticks and stones stormed Nyabikoni Senior Secondary School in Kanyanyiriro Cell, Nyabikoni Ward Central Division in Kabale Municipality. In retaliation, the Nyabikoni students overpowered them, hitting the deceased with a blunt object, which injured him on the head. He bled profusely and died. Moving on to Masindi district. Now, the Uganda Wildlife Authority is said to disperse 4.1 billion shillings as revenue sharing to 6 districts surrounding the Murchison Falls National Park this financial year. The districts are Buliisa, Masindi, Oyam, Chiriandongo, Pakwach, and Nwoya, which receives the funds to support community projects. Last financial year, Uganda Wildlife Authority dispersed 1.9 billion shillings to the same districts. Section 69, Article 4 of the Wildlife Act mandates Uganda Wildlife Authority to share 20% of the revenue obtained from the protected area entrance fees with neighboring districts surrounding protected areas. However, this financial year, 2019-2020, there was delay because the sub-county and district authorities have delayed to submit previous accountabilities. According to the conservation manager, Murchison Falls National Park, Edison Wamanya, the delay affected the disbursement. News from Buyukwe district. Now, in a bid to fight plastic bags as a danger to the environment, Njero Municipal Council in Buyukwe district has passed a bylaw prohibiting its staffs, including councillors, from carrying plastic bags onto council premises. Also, residents and stakeholders seeking council services are forbidden from carrying plastic bags. The ban was announced by the Njeri Senior Environment Officer, John Busiko, on Friday. Plastic bags are an environmental hazard. Uganda is yet to effectively ban this use, as has been done in Kenya, Tanzania, and Rwanda. Closing off the news around Uganda is a story from MASAKA district, where a 200 million shilling modern coffee processing plant has started operating, now constructed by the German-based Sauer Foundation to support Bukoto Central Youth. The plant was commissioned by the Vice President, Edward Chwankasekandi, on Friday. The plant, based in Kamzinda in Chanamkaka sub-county, has a capacity to process 400 bags of coffee per day. Sekandi urged the people of MASAKA to improve the quality of coffee to sustain the plant, which is targeting export in Germany, China, United States and Korea. Moving on to the news around East Africa. We started from Rwanda. Now the Uganda-Rwanda border at Katuna has been temporarily opened for now. A statement issued by the Rwanda Revenue Authority said the border was opened to allow movement of heavy trucks open from today until June 22nd, 2019 to test the one-stop border infrastructure which was under construction. Rwanda closed the border ostensibly to allow the construction, but later changed the reason, saying it was a political move in response to Uganda's alleged support to its dissidents. Uganda denied the claims and also ignored the border closure. Moving on to Kenya. Now, Kenya billionaire investor John Kibuga Kimani has exited the list of oil marketeers' top shareholders after selling his Total Kenya share. Kimani sold shares worth Kenya shillings 80 million at 3 million shillings. He held the shares for years and was ranked as the second largest investor after French conglomerate Total South Africa, which is the controlling shareholder with a 93.96% equity. News from Tanzania. Now, the Bank of Tanzania has announced that the country has halted the exchange of new Kenya banknotes with immediate effect. According to the Tanzanian bank regulator, the move was aimed at curbing the flow of illicit Kenya currency into the country. In a bid to fight corruption, Kenya announced the withdrawal of the 1,000 shilling currency note amid its claims that the corrupt have millions of 1,000 shilling notes in cash stashed in their homes. Let's close the news around East Africa from Southeast Sudan. Now, as a sign to return to normality after a 5-war civil war, a bridge has been constructed, triggering excitement among the Southeast Sudanese. Residents and officials in northwest South Sudan are excited over the new bridge located in Kwajok, the capital of Grogori State. They say the newly European Union-funded bridge will make travel safer, cheaper and faster for people in the remote Bal El Ghazal area. The $6.5 million bridge was opened last week. Let's move on to the news around the world. We started from Sudan. Now, chaos is persisting in Khartoum as deaths have been reported and the military crackdowns on protesters increase, demanding civilian rule. 4 people were killed yesterday. It is almost 2 months since the April 11th ouster of longtime ruler Omar al-Bashir, and there is no letting up by protesters who want military rulers to hand over power to civilians. Moving on to Liberia. Now, thousands of people took to the streets of Liberia's capital, Monrovia, to protest rising fuel prices and corruption, posing a key political test for President George Weah. The football icon is being challenged over the same issues on which he campaigned on his rise to the presidency of the impoverished West African state just 18 months ago. About 10,000 people took part in the demonstration, according to an AFP estimate, while a police official put the turnout at around 4,000. Let's move on to Zimbabwe, where Zimbabwean President Emmerson Mnangagwa promised a new national currency 10 years after hyperinflation rendered the Zimbabwean dollar worthless. The country has since used US dollars, a South African rand, and in recent years, the local quasi-currencies that have fallen sharply in value. Let's move on to China, where Hong Kong's pro-Beijingist leader on Monday refused to scrap controversial plan to allow extraditions to the Chinese mainland, a day after record crowds came out to oppose the proposal, striking a defiant tone after a city's largest protest since the 1997 handover. Chief Executive Carrie Lani said the legislature would debate the bill on Wednesday as planned, rejecting calls to delay or withdraw the law. Let's close off the news around the world from Britain. Now, around a dozen British Conservative MPs will formally throw their hats into the ring on Monday in the fight to replace Theresa May as party leader and Prime Minister, with her former Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson seen as a runaway favourite. This morning, nominations for candidates to succeed May, who resigned on February as head of the Troy, were held. May stepped down after failing to deliver Brexit. That is it for the news around the world. We now take a short break, but when we come back, we shall take a look at what's making headlines in business.